Today is my second day of pre-planning and I have been feeling bonkers because I just don't really know what all I need to do as far as like what time I need to wake up and when I need to go somewhere and what I need to do when I get home. And I mean, it's only day 2. And honestly, this week's gonna be super funky with like open house and first day of school and all that kind of stuff. But in general, I just feel like I need some structure. So let's make an ideal week. If you're not familiar with an ideal week, it is basically a loose plan for what your week would look like if it was just a normal regular week. So not this week when we have open house and first day of school and my husband's birthday and a birthday party to prepare for it, all that kind of stuff. But on like a regular normal day, what would we be doing? That's what we're going to be figuring out now. And the magic of this is just kind of to take out some of the decision making, because I know like when I come home on a Monday, what should I be doing? When I come home on Tuesday, what should I be doing? As well as it just makes life a lot better. Now, the magic about an ideal week is that you don't actually have to follow it, but it just gives you some sort of plan, some sort of general idea of what we're going to do and how to live your life intentionally. So if you've never made one, we're going to do that together. Go grab some coffee. Grab a notebook, or if you want to be fancy, I know some people do this in like a Google Calendar because they're fancy. I'm not fancy, so we're using a notebook and a pen. But I'm gonna set up this other camera so you can see top down. It's a little bit dark, so I do apologize, but there is a storm rolling in, and also, like I said, I just started school, and so we have like no time. So I'm just gonna take that and we will, it's fine. All right, so what we're gonna start with is just a list of things that you want/need to do. So I know personally that I have been working on playing piano and trying to really better my skills there. So that's something that's going on my list of something I want to do. As far as how often, let's say 2 to 4 times. Okay, I know I need to, this is like once, this is like needs. I know that I need to get better at cleaning the house because I'm a terrible house person. So that's going to involve vacuum, dust, laundry, and cleaning the bathrooms are like my main thing, and then other things come up, but those are like my main things. I know that I'm gonna need to film every time. Also, should I put this sideways because I write sideways because I'm a left-handed person? Possibly. That might be good. One of my teenager at church who used to be in my children's church told me the other day, she was like, I was really amazed when I figured out you were left-handed because I couldn't figure out how you wrote on the expo like whiteboard and didn't erase everything as soon as you wrote it. And I was like, practice. It takes a lot of practice. So I need to film 1 day a week. I need some time to make Becca's Bible class products because that's something I am working on. I'm trying to do 1 per week. This week will not happen because it's the first week of school, but hopefully next week or the week after we'll get back in the swing of things. And then you might also want to do like non-negotiables. I don't know if that's how you spell that. Whatever. So like I know I have choir on Mondays, and so that's something I need to put in my schedule. These are things that like you really just can't help. Like, you know, I gotta cook dinner. We have to eat. So, you know, I would love to find a time to paint because all I want to do in life right now is paint pretty pictures, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. So that's in parentheses. I do need time to read, and I need my morning routine. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of a list, we're going to pull out your paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to label, we're going to do the other side. I'm going to label one side with the hours. So I know I wake up at around 5. and I get home around 5. Okay, so then I'm going to put days of the week at the top. And I only do this for the weekdays. We could probably do one for Saturday. Squiggly lines, it's fine. Okay, so I know I need to be like all the way awake by 5. And we're going to do workout on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This will be a spin. The other 2 will be strength workouts. Those are usually, if I can get up at 5, I should be done by 5:45 by the time I let the dogs out and I change and I do my workout. It'll usually be like 5:15 to 5:45. So then afterwards, we're going to start with breakfast. Right there. Then hopefully by 6, we're doing AM routine, which for me is, I don't really need to write this down because I just know, read my Bible, write in my Bible journal, and then plan my day, or like my 3, have a track, plan my day. So those are like my 4 things that I do right then. So I'm just going to call that AM. Okay. And hopefully I can do that between like 6 and 6:30 as I drink my breakfast, because I always have a smoothie. And then let's work backwards. I have to be at school at 8:30. I want to leave at 7:45 this year, because last year I was leaving close to 8 a lot, and sometimes I run into traffic and then I get either late or I'm like barely on time, and I don't love that. So 7:45 is going to be my leave time, which means I need to go upstairs at 7. So 7 o'clock is when we're going to get ready. That gives me 30 minutes to get ready. I don't really need 30 minutes, but you know, it's nice to have extra. And then about 15 minutes to like let the dogs out, fill up my water bottle, those kind of things. Okay, so now you can see I have like these 30-minute blocks here. Those are going to be some sort of work item. Something small, because 30 minutes is not a lot of time, but it is going to need to be some sort of work item. But I don't know necessarily like what I want it to be yet. Now, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to do wake and morning routine first off. And then we're going to write in my journal, because that worked really well last year. And then I have an hour for work on those 2 days. So what they need to be, Thursday needs to be write emails probably. And so Tuesday is going to be like whatever projects I'm working on. So I would love to do Pinterest on Wednesdays. Let's do Pinterest Wednesday and Pinterest Friday. And then actually on Monday, I might schedule Instagram posts. Because that would be super, super helpful if I just had those done and like make sure I have videos ready to go. I think I'm going to move video to Thursdays. So we can do like YouTube / Instagram posts, whatever I'm working on right now. Pinterest, emails, Pinterest. I think that's going to have to be the best. Now, what that tells me, and this is what really is helpful about the ideal week, is I don't have a lot of project time. Whereas in the past, I might have had a couple days where I was working on projects. If I'm working on Pinterest and emails and those kind of things, like those marketing pieces, I don't have as much time to work on longer term projects, which tells me that I need to have time somewhere else to work on those projects, or I need to really severely limit how much I think I can get done. Okay? Okay. So this little line here represents my whole school day. And then I usually get home around 5. And I find 5 to 5:30, honestly, to just be a write-off time. Like, I don't feel like I ever get anything done at that point. So then 5:30, I would like to either walk dogs or do yoga. And I like giving myself the option so that it just kind of depends on the day, because I might come home on Monday and I might be like ready to go for a walk, or I might come home on Monday and be like, I'm so tired, I'm gonna die. And then yoga is gonna be a better option for me. But either way, the point is kind of like clearing my head and just kind of getting myself out of school mode and moving my body. That worked out really well last year. I know that I tend to have dinner around 7. So here we're gonna get ready for dinner. All right. Oh, but not on Mondays. I have choir on Mondays. Dinner prep. This is why you should probably do this in pencil, and I did not. Okay. Dinner prep's gonna be 6:30. So I have this 30-minute window here. Choir starts at 7:15. So I have to leave by 6:45. So I'm going to eat my dinner here. So I'll just come home, walk dogs, go to choir on Mondays. And that's fine. And then when I get home around 9, then I'll probably just read, maybe take a bath, and then sleep. There we go. Okay. The other days, see here, this is why we do this. I also need to film one of these days. I would love to film on Wednesdays, but it's gonna depend on what days I end up having after school choir, which might end up being Wednesdays, so that might change. So here we're gonna not do these things because we're gonna film. Okay. So as you can see, I'm already seeing, okay, I have less days to walk the dogs. I have, like as I'm doing this, time is filling up. And so that's something that helps me a lot with this exercise, is really being realistic about how much time I actually have, because I tend to be one of those people who's like, oh yeah, I knew this, and this. And then I really can't. So there we are. Yeah. Whew. Okay. That means Tuesdays we go vacuum. Fridays we're gonna vacuum and do the bathrooms. And on Thursdays we're gonna play piano. Now, right now that gives me only one time to play piano. However, I know that sometimes I end up with extra time in here. So here, if I have extra time, I can practice piano in those moments. And so that's something that I usually will just note somewhere of like this, these 3 spots. If I have time, I finish vacuuming and it's not time to start dinner, or if husband's going to be late that day, I don't have to start dinner as early. Those are times that I can practice piano. So here we have Thursday as like dedicated piano time versus the other days are if I can squeeze it in. So again, giving me really helpful insights about what's going on here. So I know that I get at least 1 piano practice a week. I also try to practice piano during my lunch breaks at work, so that helps too. But having those like filler items here is helpful. Now I usually eat around 7. So we're going to call 7 to 8 eat. And then from 8 o'clock, I have been working actually from 8 until 9 or 9:30 here. And that has been really, really helpful. Meep moop, meep moop. And so I know I need to do Becca's Bible class. So let's do these 2 days. This day can be a project day. And then on Fridays, I will probably take a bath or paint. and I try to be in bed before 10:30. So like this is kind of my okay. So just like that, we filled up the whole week. And what this tells me is a lot of really important things. One, it gives me an accurate vision of how much time I have. Two, it just helps simplify decisions. So when I come home, I'm not like, oh, what should I do? I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. I'm coming home and I'm either going to walk or do yoga, then I'm going to vacuum the house. And so it just makes it easier to make the decisions that you actually want. Because I find that if I don't have those things on my list, I'm going to come home and I'm going to do something that maybe I don't care about. I'm going to like scroll on Instagram, or I'm going to watch TV or something like that. That's not bad, but it's just not what I actually want for my life. You know what I mean? There's those things that like you do just kind of automatically, and we're trying to get rid of that automatic and that wasted time. What I also see is I only have 2 times to work on projects, which means I'm going to have to severely limit how many projects I have in any given week, because I've only got an hour, maybe 2 hours a week to work on those projects. And so that gives me valuable insight about how much I can realistically get done. And this year, one thing I'm trying to do is really be more realistic with how much I think I can get done instead of having massive to-do lists. Now, I sometimes have time to work on Saturdays. I didn't do an ideal week for Saturday because I find Saturdays are just very different. I do have my routines and my things I like to do, and I still like to try to keep the same mindset, and you can totally continue on to Saturday and on to Sunday, but this is where I'm gonna stop for today. And yeah, I hope that this makes you feel more calm and less stressed. You might have to, knock things out. And then of course, this is an ideal week, which means that it's an ideal week. It's not every week. It's not like my week today, like tomorrow I ended up filming. Today's Monday. I'm filming. Tomorrow I have open house and it's my son's birthday. We're going out, and then we're going to have like the first day of school, and that's going to be exhausting. And then like this weekend we're having a party. So like I have extra cleaning tasks this week than I would normally have. And so those things shift things around. But if you start with this, then it's easier to shift things around, because then I can say, oh, well, how about this day instead of filming, I can work on XYZ. And so when those things come up, you can adjust accordingly. But if you don't have any sort of plan, it just requires you to make a lot of decisions. And the more decisions you have to make, the harder your life's going to be. You get that decision fatigue and things are just exhausting. So go and make your list of things you need to get done. Make your ideal week, and hopefully it helps clear up your head a little bit. I would love to hear what some of your things are. What are your non-negotiables? What are things you want to do? What are things you have to do? Leave those down below in the comments, and we can all, discuss together how we might create more time. And when someone invents something that makes me immune to sleep, let me know, because that's really what I need. Okay, bye.